Hello and welcome. M. Solomon here, your foreclosure accountant, auditor. So glad you could join us. I have a really strong presentation I want to share with you today. I'm looking forward to this. It's not the easiest to explain, but if you own a property and if you're in default, if you're current, if you're in foreclosure, if you lost a property, you definitely want to pay attention to this. We're talking about timing and valuation schemes in a wrongful foreclosure, analyzing foreclosure timing and property valuation methods, what is seen and what cannot be seen with the naked eye, what is concealed, and is that something that should be deemed material, anything material that would cause your foreclosure to stop and would give you grounds to have the whole thing thrown out. I'm not an attorney, only an attorney can advise you of your rights and property, but I'm an accountant and I am an auditor, and I do want to share with you what we found. Again, M. Solomon. You can reach me at email secondarytradedesk@gmail.com, secondarytradedesk, like it sounds, at gmail.com. And you can also call me, text me if you have questions. If you don't want to leave a comment here, text me at 725-270-3177. Coming to you out of the beautiful Las Vegas area. So let's get going here. Okay. What we're talking about is, can you take someone's home using an insider code? Well, no. I mean, anything inside job is not good, and everything must be disclosed. Transparency is the name of the game here. So what we're going to be asking you today is to take a look at your monthly statement. Beware of the amount alleged owed. Challenge it. If you don't know how to do that, that's why you hire an accountant like us. That's what we do. We audit. We audit the monthly statement and the payoff statement. For starters, let's make sure that the amount owed let's make sure the amount owed may not be used for something such as backdating, and I'm going to show you what we found in a case. We're looking at timing mechanisms in a foreclosure process that run on equal footing with a 5 or 10 year bond. You're not a bond issuer, you're not a bond holder, and well, I don't think you are. And the courts will tell you not to raise these arguments because they have nothing to do with you. Well, they do if they're being used as part of the construction of your foreclosure and recovery. You got that? We're looking at charge-off and credit valuation schemes for zero balance. And what's significant about that is you can't cause zero to go into default, and you can't foreclose on zero. There's nothing to be in default. The amount's been satisfied. That falls under Section 26 U.S. Code, Section 61, cancellation of debt by involuntary conversion. Now here's the statement. It's an overview of a foreclosure timing and valuation scheme that was just discovered in a file for a wonderful client. And it's unfortunate this has to happen, but we did find it. We did discover it. We're looking at a monthly statement. This monthly statement, by the way, happened to be for a next payment due of 8/1/24, so we're going back a year. And what's most important I want to focus on is the total amount due as of 8/1/24, $41,306.78. All this other stuff is just peripheral. Right now, the most important thing is total amount due as of 8/1/24, $41,306.78. Now, let me show you what kind of assumptions we made. Can you make assumptions? Only if you can back them. Well, we're saying that the next payment due, according to this, is 8/1/24. And what assumptions we made was for a 10-year bond with a conversion, 12-month conversion, in order to accomplish that. That means the mortgage ceased to exist after the first year, became a 10-year bond. The borrower didn't own the property or have this mortgage for that long, but it gets interesting. So what we have here is 365 days for a conversion. That takes us from 8/1/24 back to 8/1/23. 1 year, I call it aging conversion. You got a 10-year bond here from 8/1/23 to 8/1/13. That's 3,652 days, 10 years. 1 year, 10 year, and I'm making one more assumption. As for a 1031 like-kind exchange, tax-deferred exchange, that takes us backdated from 8/1/24. It's going to backdate us from now to 8/1/13, all the way back to 2/1/13. So we have backdating on a 1031 exchange back to 2/1/13. That's the assumption I'm making off this information here. And how can I support that? How can I prove it? Well, I'm going to show you. Once again, the statement, date values and computers, we're not going to isolate it. This is all I'm really concerned with, this little box right here, the 8/1/24, the balance due as of that date. Okay, you already saw how I broke it down. Okay, let's see what that means. You see the amount due 41-306-78. That is a concealed date. The computers read that as a date. Let's ask AI. AI, what would you read that as? Well, in Microsoft Excel, AI told me 41-306.78 has been left off for a purpose. But it says that corresponds to the date, or is the date, February 1st, 2013. Aha. What a coincidence. I backdated this loan, as you can see, to 2/1/13, and the Microsoft Excel or any computer platform that produces a monthly statement is going to read that amount due as February 1st, 2013. The 78 represents the 78% of a day, which is approximately blah, 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 18 hours. That's AI for you, breaking it all down. But the final result, February 1st, 2013. Excel's date system starts at January 1st, 1900 and counts each day as one day. So 41-306 is the 41,306th day after the start of the millennium, which would have been 1/1/1900. That's how far back it's going, 1/1/1900. It's kind of what they were talking about with the Y2K. But here's the important thing. The total amount due as of 8/1/2024, 41-306-78 is really, it should really read, well, I'll tell you what it should read. Let's take a look. So recap, or to add to our discovery, Let's take a look at something here. I can already hear my critics yelling out, what is he smoking? What is this guy coming? Where is he coming from? Where is he finding this information? I'm going to show you something. Let's look at it another way. Remember, the total amount due is, the amount due for the default is 41-306-78. And we said that's a date, correct? That date is 2/1/2013. Go to AI, go to Microsoft Excel, go to Google Sheet, whatever you want to do. That's going to convert to a date. Dates are numbers, numbers are dates. If we look on the statement, we see a due date, loan due date. How can a loan have a due date and they're still collecting current payments? The loan due date is 6/1/23, and what we have is our code 2/1/13. Subtract the 2, we're just a little bit over 10-year bond. I'm going to now just focus on the 10-year bond straight up. So the number of days between these two dates is 3/7/7/125, less a 10-year bond, 3652.25. That leaves me with an overage or excess of 119 days. 91 days for an NOD, notice of default, 21 days for a notice of sale, 5, no more than 7 days, according to the Department of Treasury, to take it to sale. That ties you out to 0. So what you have is a due date set off by the amount due, which reflects a bond's maturity date. Guess who's going to pay for that bond? You, from the sale of your home. More ways than you can count. I can keep going on and on and on, but what we have here is no doubt stockholders, stakeholders, strategically influencing property valuations to affect the foreclosure outcome, which of course impacts fairness, but it also satisfies their bond maturity date. It's manipulated variations reduce transparency, which is critical in a foreclosure, leading to potential unfair results for the involved parties. You. And the impact on equitable outcomes, there's nothing equitable about anything that's not disclosed, anything that's withheld, anything that's not transparent. It's concealed and it's encoded. Value manipulation threatens equitable outcomes by skewing foreclosure processes and the stakeholders' interests. In this case, we're talking about you as a stakeholder. Well, sir, there comes a time when you got to wrap it up, and we're going to wrap it up. I hope you picked something up from this. This is an actual case. By that, I mean it's an actual file that is going into foreclosure. It is a defaulted loan. It's going through a judicial foreclosure back east. We shared as much information as we can that we think is pertinent to our claim that something is not right, something is withheld, something is non-transparent, and that is an encoded system for faking foreclosures, another fictitious foreclosure. Informing better policies, that's what it's all about. Awareness of foreclosure challenges helps develop improved policies, fairness, and efficiency. It helps people from getting screwed and losing their homes. Again, we're accountants and auditors. I'm M. Solomon. You can reach me at 725-270-3177. We'd love to take a look at one of your monthly statements. From there, we can gauge if you have a case. Remember, only an attorney can represent your rights and property. We're accountants and auditors, and we provide the substance for the argument. You can also reach us at email, Secondary Trade Desk, just like it sounds, secondarytradedesk@gmail.com. I'm M. Solomon. Look forward to hearing from you. Take care.